Hi, my name is Mike, and this is the first video in this series, and this series is about how to play piano from a chord sheet. Now, I'm assuming here are two things about you. I'm assuming that you play piano for worship in your church. It's the one thing I'm assuming. And two, I'm assuming that you come from a faith background, and when you're playing, you want to worship. And so if I can help you in any way, if I can serve you by showing you stuff, that would be awesome. That's the whole goal of this channel, is to serve people and help them to play what's in front of them in a way that they're comfortable with and that they can worship with. Now, you notice I didn't say the goal is that you play like some professional crazy jazz musician. I think a lot of worship players today, frankly, maybe play a little bit too much, and you don't really need to for worship. All you need is to play basic stuff, and yeah. So I'd like to encourage you and show you. I'd like to begin today right from the very beginning with a song that has 3 chords, and you'll see it up here on the screen. It's called Jesus Be the Center. And a lot of people say, Mike, I don't know what to do. I learned how to play music. I played music from notes for many years, and then they asked me to play in church, and I get this piece of paper with chords on it. What do I do? And this is the question I hear most when I'm playing for conferences, and people say, Mike, what are you playing, and could you show me that? And so that's one of the reasons why I'm starting this channel, is to do just that. So you see 3 chords, and this song only has 3 chords. That's one of the reasons I wanted to choose it. That's one of the reasons I chose this song, is because it only has 3 chords. It's quite easy to start with. The rhythm's quite simple, but also because it really has to do with, it really is a great definition of what worship is. To just say, hey, Jesus, be at the center of my life, be everything for me. And so what I want to encourage you with is that with really simple chords, you can develop your skills and worship at the same time. Let's get away from the idea of practicing, and practicing has to be hard. As you're practicing these things, as you're developing your skills in this area, I would encourage you always to try and seek God and worship Him as you're doing it, and that will, I think that will just really give you wings. It will encourage you as you do this, and it will make the time go faster, and it'll be time well spent. So this song has 3 chords. Let's look at them. First, you see a D there. All you see is a D, a big D. What does that mean? That means you're going to play the chord D major, and I'm going to be showing you all the chords in this video today in the root position. Now, D major in its root position looks like this. I'm assuming you know the notes, but if you don't, you can look here and see them. You're going to start with D. I would play that with my thumb, if I were you. And you're going to play F sharp. And you're going to play A. That's D major in the root position. If there's an M after it, that would be minor. But today we're going to stick with D major. Now, how do you find a chord if you don't know what it is? If you see another chord and you want to find it. If you know the scales, you play the first, you go from the root, the first note of the scale. In this case, D. So the root is always the note that has the same name as the chord. So if I have a D chord there, you see that D up there, I'm going to play D. I'm going to play the, if you know the scale, you're going to play the first note, the 3rd note, and the 5th note of the scale. And there's your D major chord. If you don't know the scales and you want to find a chord, then you can count. You can go by counting by half steps or by thirds. So you're going to play a major third plus a minor third. What's a major third? A major third is nothing more than 4 half steps. So a half step, if you don't know, is the very next note on the piano, black or white. So you're going to pick your note D and go 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that forms a major third. And you're going to go 3 half steps from the top note of our major third, that's F sharp. We're going to play 1, 2, 3 half steps. That gives us a major chord, D major in this case. That's our first chord. Then we're going to play A major, same exact thing. Start with A, play 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps, and then 1, 2, 3 half steps. A major. Then we're going to go to G, that's our third chord. We're going to play same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps from G, that's a major third, plus 1, 2, 3 half steps, that's a minor third. Major third plus minor third is a major chord. Those are our 3 chords. And so what you want to do, if you don't know this at all, is just practice those. You play a measure, play 4 quarter notes. If you don't know what that means, just copy what I'm doing. So this is how you can start to practice. And when you're comfortable with that, you can maybe add the melody by humming or singing. Now, I'm not a professional singer, but I really do like to sing for worship. So you can just add that. Jesus, be the center, be my source, be my light, Jesus. That's the first verse of that song. And that's it. That's all you really have to do for the right hand for now. We're at the very beginning. Later, I'll show you how to do lots of other stuff. And in the left hand, piano has 2 hands. We're going to play just the simple note that the chord is named after. I'm going to play it in the bass clef, which is an octave lower, 8 notes lower than what we were just, 12 notes actually, but 8 notes in the scale, lower than what we were just playing. So we're going to play D, and I would suggest you put your thumb here on D if you're practicing this, and your 5th finger, your little finger on G, and your 4th finger, your ring finger, on A. Then you have to move your hand. So I would practice like this. If you're more advanced, you can play the octave for now, but for now, or if you're not so advanced, just play the left hand, D, then A. And a great way to practice this too is also, if you can, sing with that too, or hum it, a melody in your mind, or worship, or sing the songs in your heart, and worship. Be the center, be my source, be my light, Jesus. Now, you might not be able to do that right away. It's not the easiest thing to do, to play the bass note and sing the melody, but you get what I mean. As you're playing, I want to encourage you, just try and keep your mind focused on the Lord. So, left hand, right hand, and we'll put them together. So, if you're practicing this at home, I would suggest to learn the right hand chords, then learn the left hand, and then put them together. So maybe something like this. Very simple, but it's really all you need. Jesus, be the center, be my source, be my light, Jesus. That's all you need. Now, if you need to look at the notes in the beginning, that's fine. If you need to look at your hands, that's fine. Look at your hands. Long term is better if you don't look at your hands, but in the beginning, if you need to, that's okay. Simple song. And that's all you need. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So, if you want to be kept informed of new videos that are coming. Please subscribe, and if you liked it, please like it. And I will see you next time. God bless.